Hello and welcome to my live Facebook class today. My name is Kimberly. If you haven't joined me today or joined me another day, I'm the Senior Recreation Therapist with the Forever in Motion program. So a few things that I'm going to ask that you have with you today. I'm going to use a band today, so if you have a band or a tubing at home with you, then have that available. If you don't have a band or tubing, a quick alternative if you have, say, nylons or something like that at home, that could be used in a pinch, or you can just work on range of motion kind of thing. Okay, great. So other thing, we're gonna have our chair nearby so that we can sit. If we would like to sit, you can use your chair. And then as well, I have a water bottle just outside the camera view, but I have my water bottle right here, nice and handy, and we'll take several sips throughout class. So let's get started with a warm-up. So let's start by marching out. And just a quick reminder, you can always do things seated. So if you prefer to do things seated, you're sitting on the front half of your chair as you're doing your exercises. If you would like to stand, you feel pretty comfortable, but maybe just a little off on your balance, stand behind your chair so you have for your chair for support at all times. I'm going to stand beside my chair so that I have my chair handy there in case I need it. But generally, I probably won't use my chair a lot, but know that it's always there for support in case you need it. Okay, let's start with a little bit of a hustle step. Let's go 1, 2, 3, tap, 1, 2, 3, tap. 1, 2, 3, tap, 1, 2, 3, tap. Good. Okay, once we've got that, once we've got little 1, 2, 3 tap, if you'd like, you can start moving it around a little bit. So I'm going to move it forward and back, just a little bit here, getting a little bit of movement with that. Know that you can always stay in the spot if you'd like. Good, so I'm moving forward and back just a little bit. That's it. Option to stay in the spot and do that 1, 2, 3 tap if you prefer. Or move it around just a little bit. So coming forward and moving back. Okay, you know I like to strain your brain just a little bit. That's it. Okay, and 2 more. And last time. Good, and let's change that to a step touch. Step together, step together. So as hands or arms going in the same direction of our legs is oftentimes just a little bit more comfortable. I'm going to challenge your brain just a little bit. So if you feel like you are comfortable with this, feel free to stay here. If you feel like you can do opposite, have opposite arm and opposite leg. Again, just a little bit more of a challenge on our brain here. I like to keep you on your toes. Lots of research on the benefits of physical activity on our brain. And just getting that regular flow of fresh oxygen to our brain is good for us. But when we add kind of arm and leg movements that just challenge our brain just a little bit, then we're working that brain that much more. And 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, keep going with that step touch, but let's move 2 step touch one direction, 2 step touch other direction, okay? Good. So maybe 2 step touch to the left, 2 step touch to the right, 2 step touch to the left, 2 step touch to the right. And keep going with that. Now you can have just marching arms by your side, or if you'd like, a little bit more of a challenge again, I'm going to do diamond arms with this. Arms are coming out to the side. Good. And I'm starting with slow motion arms. And then if you'd like, you can speed that up just a bit. Good. I really believe that us challenging our brain will help keep our brain strong and healthy longer, ward off dementia. Okay, and 2 more. And last time. Good. Okay, and march it out. Great. Okay, let's do a tap back, working a little bit of the back side of the muscles, warm up the glutes and the hamstrings. So let's tap back, together, tap back, together. Good. And I kind of like my arms coming forward with this, helps to kind of counterbalance just a little bit. And then if you want to challenge those arms, again, or challenge your brain just a little bit, we can have our arms go in different directions. So how about as our legs go back, we do jumping jack arms. So this would be kind of like cross-country ski legs, jumping jack arms. So arms and legs going in opposite directions. Again, just a little bit more of a challenge on our brain. Oh, doesn't it feel good to get moving, get the blood flowing? That's it. It doesn't matter if you're watching me live right now on Tuesday afternoon, or if you watch this at any other time. Know that you can come back and watch any of our videos at any time that works for you to fit it in your day. Okay, 4, 3, 2, and last one, let's march it out. Good. Okay, getting a little bit more into our cardio section here. So maybe just bringing that heart rate up just a little bit more. In our warm up, or a couple of minutes ago, we did a 1, 2, 3 tap, and we kind of moved it around a bit. Let's do that again, but let's make it just a little bit bigger. So 1, 2, 3 tap. So start with that. Once you've got that, let's start to move it around a bit. 1, 2, 3 tap, back, 2, 3 tap. 2, 3 tap, back, 2, 3 tap. So the way we're going to progress this to make it just a little bit harder, we're going to add a little bit bigger arms, and we're going to add a knee up. 1, 2, 3, knee. 1, 2, 3, knee. Good. And I'm adding kind of some nice big circle arms with that. You could change that to opposite elbow to opposite knee. A little bit of core with that. So now you always have lots of options for arm and legs. If you're getting a little tired, you could slow down a little bit. If you wanted a little bit more of a challenge, then you could speed this up, make it a little bit bigger movements. Now keep going there. Just a reminder, you can always do this seated too. It would look 1, 2, 3, knee, 1, 2, 3, knee. Good. We just wouldn't be moving around as much. That's it. Good. Always have options here. Okay, I'm going to change that to a hamstring curl. 1, 2, 3, ham, back, 2, 3, ham. I'm going to try not to kick that back wall there behind me, but I will even a couple times, I'm sure. And I'm going to do a row with the arms. I'm going to try to challenge my brain here. I'm going to cross one hand over, then the other hand over. So we'll alternate. Watch side over, watch side under. I want to try to keep my knees pointed down, heels coming towards the bum. That's it. And know if this ever gets to be too much, I can always just drop the arms, just do the legs. And a reminder, I could always just do this seated too. Okay, let's try 2 more. And last time. Good, march it out. Okay, that was a great warm-up and cardio section. That was just over 10 minutes there. Let's grab a drink of water. Okay, and then let's gradually cool that body down. So let's go into a little bit lower of a march. Whenever we bring our heart rate up, we want to make sure we bring it down gradually. We want to try to avoid stopping the feet completely, because that can cause venous pooling or the blood rushing to our feet and getting lightheaded and dizzy. So let's do a few shoulder rolls. So just a couple forward. We know this isn't going to help our posture, so I'm only going to do 2 forward, and then let's really exaggerate the roll back. So take a nice deep breath in, bring the shoulders up towards the ears, and drop them back and down. Again, nice deep breath in. And 2 more. And last time. Good. Let's go into a nice, easy tap in front, gradually bringing that heart rate down. Taking maybe just a few more nice deep breaths. And 2 more, and last time. Good. Let's alternate, lifting the heels, keeping the toes on the ground. So give yourself a quick inventory how you're feeling. I know I feel like my heart rate's down and breathing pretty much back to normal. If you're not quite, maybe just do this simple little heel raise just for another 60 seconds or so. Good job. Okay. Moving on to our exercise portion. So I'm gonna have one more quick drink here. And feel free to have a sip of water at any time, but definitely at the very least when I suggest having a drink, I would have one at the same time, just so to make sure you're staying hydrated. So let's do a single arm row, or also known, this time of year I call it the snowblower. In the summertime, I usually call it the lawnmower. We're gonna have our band underneath 1 foot. And I will give you a seated option for this as well, but I'll start with the standing. I'm gonna step with 1 foot forward here. So in this case here, you might have your right foot forward, and then you're gonna have your left hand holding on to the band or tubing. You're gonna have that hand supporting. So whatever leg is forward, that hand is supporting that leg. We're gonna bring our left hand to our left hip, and then slowly lower back down. So the reason why we call it a snowblower, if I had a snowblower that I still would pull with a cord to start, then I would be pulling it up and back. But we're gonna go in slow motion, way slower than we would necessarily start a snowblower. Hand to hip, and then hand parallel to that knee almost. You'll notice my head and neck is staying in line with my spine. I might look at you every once in a while, but I should be looking about 3 or 4 feet in front of me so that my head and neck stay in line. And we're gonna breathe at the same time. Exhale as you bring that arm up. Inhale as you bring that arm down. Now keep going with that. I'm gonna show you that seated option real quick here. So if I'm doing this seated, I'd have the band underneath my legs. I'd have one hand supporting, and then I would bring that hand to my hip. Again, breathing at the same time, make sure we're not holding our breath. That's probably about 8 in total between the standing and seated option. Let's do 2 more. And last time. Great. Okay, let's release that. Let's switch sides. So again, seated option, always a great option to choose from. So stand on the band with 1 foot. That same hand as leg is gonna go forward. So in this case here, it might be your left leg, left hand. We're gonna hold on to the band on the other side. I'm gonna twirl it up just a little bit so I have a little bit of band underneath my hand to hold on to. But a knot on your band works great there too. And again, hand to the hip, and then back down to the side. Now I feel like this is a pretty good resistance for me today, kind of where I'm feeling today. But no, if you ever wanted to work this just a little harder, you could always double up the band. So grab both sides of the band to bring it up, just to make it a little bit harder there. Always remembering to breathe at the same time. I know it's always tempted to hold our breath. I'm going to think about pulling my belly button to spine. Our whole entire workout can be a core workout if we just think about engaging the core at the same time. Let's see 2 more. And last one. Good. Okay, and release that. Okay, give that a little shake. Roll the shoulders up, back, and down. A little bit of a release. The shoulders tend to get a little bit tight or sore after some of these next few because they're upper body ones, but also your shoulders will be working as well. Let's have our band in one arm in front here. In this case, possibly have your band in your right hand in front. We're going to take our left hand, cross over top, grasp onto the band. We're going to bring our hand nice and close to our chest. We're going to stand with our feet hip width or shoulder width apart. We're going to squeeze the band away and then slowly come back. And again, squeeze and release. And again, we want to make sure we're breathing at the same time. We're going to exhale as we open it up. Inhale as release. And we're going to do about 1 more, maybe 2 more. And then we're going to switch sides. Great. Okay, we're going to release that band with our left hand, slide our hand underneath, grasp on, and then once again, squeeze the arms apart from each other. And again, I'm standing nice and tall, good posture, ABCs of posture. So abdominals in, bum tucked, chest lifted, and chin tucked. And 2 more. And last time. Good. Okay, and release that. Give that a little bit of a shake. I like to have a drink of water about every second or third exercise, so I'm going to have another sip. Okay, moving on to our next upper body exercise. Let's do a seated high row. Let's try that one today. This isn't one, if you are a leader, this isn't one that necessarily is in your books. It's just a modified of our low row. But what we can do, and listen for the cues, because this is where this is pretty important. Usually we do a row where our hands are going to the side of our hips. In this case here, my armrests really are in my way here today. I'm going to point my toes just a little bit more because we want to be very careful that the band doesn't snap up in our face. But instead of my hands coming to my hips, I'm going to have my hands come all the way up, come to about shoulder height, and I'm going to slowly lower back down. So this is just a slight modification of that low row. We're going to call this a high row. And instead, this one's going to work between my shoulder blades in the back. Exhale as you bring those arms up. Inhale as we bring it back. So we should feel this in our back of our shoulders, our posterior deltoids, our mid traps. As I'm doing this, I'm going to think about squeezing my shoulder blades together in my back. And that's going to make this an upper back strengthening exercise. Good. Just a quick reminder, make sure those toes are pointed. If they're not pointed very much, if your toes are up towards the ceiling, you might find that that band could easily snap back in your face, and we don't want that. So point the toes just a bit. Good. Whew. That's a good one. I can start to feel that in my shoulders. So if you feel like you've had enough, feel free to stop. Otherwise, I'm going to try for 2 more. We don't want pain, but we would like a little bit of strain. So almost to the point where you feel like you can't quite do one more with good form. I think this is it for me. Whew. Okay, I think my shoulders have fatigued. I'm going to release that. I'm going to give that a stretch or a shake in my shoulders. Oh, I might even just drop my ear shoulder. Just give those shoulders, my upper neck, just a bit of a break there. Okay, shake that out. Okay, that was shoulders. Let's go into some legs here. So we're going to take our band, place it under one foot, and then we're going to do our leg press with this one here. So you want to make sure you have enough tension on your band. Now I have kind
kind of a band. I probably could use it a little harder. I might double up my band here in a moment, but I'm gonna keep my elbows close to my sides. I'm gonna go heel to floor, knee to chest. So you notice I really am sitting on the front half of my chair. Maybe you can't see that, but I'm nowhere near the back of my chair. Knee to chest, heel to floor. Knee to chest, heel to floor. Again, nice, slow, and controlled here. Where we should be breathing as we're working is as we're pushing that foot down. Exhale on the way down, inhale on the way back. Okay, let's see, 2 more. And last one. Good. Okay, before we switch sides, just something you should pay attention to is we shouldn't be swinging that leg. It's kind of fun, but it's also easy. I'm really not working much of my leg strength in that case. So make sure you're pressing down with that foot. So I'm going to switch sides. I'm going to have knee to chest, elbows close to the side, heel to floor. Knee to chest, heel to floor. I can also feel this in my core because we're sitting up nice and tall. You might feel that core have to hold us up just a little bit. Okay, I'm going to try 2 more. And last one. Good. Okay, and release that. Great job. Nice work today. Okay, I'm going to grab myself a quick drink. So again, make sure you're staying hydrated at the same time too. Okay, let's go into some bicep work. So let's bring our band underneath our feet. And today, let's do our hammer curl. So today, I'm gonna have my palms facing in. I'm gonna grab my band a little shorter here, just 1 wrap with it, just so it's a little bit easier to hang on to, but I'm gonna make sure that the band is not digging into my hands at all or cutting off any circulation. If your band's a little short, you could always stand out with just 1 foot, which just give you a little bit more band on either side. Or 2 feet, just have a little bit less band on either side. And then of course you can always do this seated. So let's bring our hands towards our shoulders and slowly hands back down. We're gonna exhale as we bring the hands up. Inhale as we come back down. And then just like every other exercise, I might do a quick posture check once I get going. I'm gonna stand up a little taller, look straight ahead. I'm looking down a little bit at my camera to see you, but I'm gonna look straight ahead to the horizon. Nice, slow, and controlled. My elbows should be staying nice and close to my sides. So I want to avoid my elbows coming out to the side. I want to avoid my hands lifting up. That's a couple more here. And 2 more. And last one. Good. Okay, and release that. Give that a quick shake. Roll the shoulders up, back, and down, or release that just a little bit. Good. Let's step off of the band here at this point. Good. And let's release that. Okay, let's do our tricep work using our chair today. And I know I have had people mention before that not all chairs that you use in Forever in Motion necessarily have armrest to it. And what I would say is that if you have a chair without an armrest, you'll take your band and then you'll just do your regular tricep extension, okay? So that's your option if you don't have armrests on your chair today, okay? If you have armrests on your chair today, or if you're watching this as a leader for some ideas to use in class, and you do have armrests, then this would be our tricep dip. So once again, I'm gonna sit on my front half of my chair. We rarely, if ever, sit on the back of our chair. If I want a little bit more help with my legs, I might bring my feet a little closer underneath me, and we're gonna press up, mostly using my upper body, but I might have those legs help me out just a little bit. Press all the way up, and then come all the way down. Good. Oh, I've got a chair that has some air in it, so as I sit down, it's going hiss, and press back up, and back down. Good. So I might not go all the way down here, and then I can avoid that hissing sound. So I'm going to come down and all the way back up. So I could have some help with my legs. If I want a little bit less help with my legs, I might take them out a little further out in front so that they're helping me a little bit less. That's it. This is very functional because not that we usually come up and down off a chair 8 to 10 times, but maybe one time we're getting up out of our chair and we want some help with those arms. That would help us out just a little bit. Also on our toilet seat or toilet, we might have armrests on either side, and maybe our legs are as strong as they used to be, or maybe we're recovering from hip or knee surgery. Then that arm strength, the tricep strength to lift us up is going to be really important too. Okay, I'm going to try 2 more. I can start to feel those triceps fatigue, and 1 more. Great, good job. Okay, give that a little shake here of the triceps, of the arms, of the shoulders. Oh, that felt good. Okay, let's come all the way back up to our standing position. Let's do 1 more set of legs, and we'll do this one in standing. If you would prefer seated, I'll just show you that real quick. How about you do just a knee extension if you wouldn't want to join us for squat. So my knees are going to stay parallel. I'm going to straighten one leg and bend the other. Good. Okay, so that's your seated option. If you're okay to do a squat, I'll do it from the side, so you just have a little bit better view. But I'm going to have my chair in front for support. I'm going to sit my hips back, keeping my chest lifted. Tuck the tailbone just a little bit so I have a nice neutral spine, and then come all the way back up. Come down nice, slow and controlled, and up. Now I like my hands kind of coming forward to counterbalance. You could use your chair for support at all times if you'd prefer. And you should be able to see from the side there that my knees might come close to lining up with my toes, but my knees really won't go past my toes necessarily. Let's think about squeezing the bum at the top, engaging our core. Okay, let's try 2 more. And always know you can stop sooner if you would like. And last one, or if you feel like you've got a couple more in you, feel free to do a couple more of those squats there. Grab a drink whenever you'd like. Okay, let's move on to a little bit of calf work here. So I'm going to have my chair in front, again for support, just in case I need it. I'm going to make sure my band is not in the way, not going to be a tripping hazard. As we do for all of our strength, leg strength / balance, remember we have 3 options for the chair. If I feel like I need that chair for support, I can have my hands on my chair. If I feel like I can manage just with fingertips, I'll just have my fingertips, or I can have my hands hovering over top. I'm going to start with my fingertips here. What I want to do, I want us to come up onto our tippy toes. Do a little pulse at the top and then come all the way back down. I'm going to mix it up just a little bit today. Are you ready? We're going to come all the way up to our tippy toes. One little one at the top and then come down nice, slow, and controlled. Let's do it again. All the way up. A little one at the top so you can see my heels aren't coming all the way down there. Again, come up. Little one at the top. Come all the way back down. Good. And two more. We're strengthening our calf muscles, working a little bit on ankle mobility here as well. Good, and back down. Good. Okay, let's march that out. Just release that just a little bit. Let's come down to our chair again. And let's do sitting on our chair. Let's just do a little bit of a toe raise. So we were already doing calf raise there. And back up so I know you can see my feet. We're going to lift our toes here, doing alternating toe raise. Good. So alternate right, left. This is a nice, easy one that we can do when we're standing in line at the grocery store, when we're waiting for our tea or coffee to perk or to tea kettle to boil, and want to strengthen the front of our shins or our tibialis anterior muscles, or front of the shins. That's up. Do 3 on one side, 3 on the other side. 3 on one side, 3 on the other. Two more. And last time. Good. Okay, let's have our hands resting on our thighs. Let's do a little bit of abdominals. We're going to lean all the way back, keeping our chin to the horizon. I'm going to take my feet out a little further and then slowly come all the way back up. And we only want to go to the point where we feel like our feet are just about to come off the floor, and then we'll slowly rise all the way back up. I'm going to exhale as I come up. I'm going to inhale as I slowly come back down. We're going to go nice, slow, and controlled. We're going to make sure we're breathing at the same time. And last one. Okay, let's stretch it out just a little bit. Let's extend one arm out, or one leg out in front. So let's start with our left leg, extend it out. We might wiggle our foot out just a little further out in front. And then we're gonna hinge forward at the hips. I'm gonna have my hands resting on my supporting leg. And I'm gonna bring my toe up just a little further up, getting a nice stretch all along the back of the leg. And let's take a nice few deep breaths, relaxing the muscles, allowing them to stretch and release. I'm going to relax into that just a little deeper. Yeah. And come on up, let's release that. Let's extend the other leg out in front. And we can always do our leg stretches standing too. I just love them in seated though, because then we can fully relax everything. Okay, so I'm hinging forward at the hips. I'm avoiding rounding of the spine. So with a nice, tall, long spine, hinge forward at the hips, resting our body on that supporting leg. release that. Let's cross one leg over the other. So we can start by crossing at the ankle, just give that a gentle press. Maybe that's where our range of motion is today. We can slide that foot up, having our foot just at the base of the knee, maybe open up through the hip, or you bring that leg all the way up, gently pressing on the inside of the knee, getting a nice stretch, opening up through the hip. And you might have heard before that we're not supposed to press on our joints, and that is correct. Say if I'm in a hamstring stretch, I wouldn't want to press on my joint to lock it. But in this case here, there's no risk of locking my joint. My knee's in a bent position. I'm just going to gently press on that, opening up through my hip there. So getting a little bit deeper stretch. I can also hinge forward at the hips, not rounding my spine. I can hinge forward if I also want to deepen that stretch just a little bit. And oh, that feels so good. And release that. Okay, one I don't do very often. I do this more when I'm sitting on the ground. But let's take that opposite arm across, hug that knee to the chest, sitting up nice and tall with a nice long spine. And then I'm going to gaze behind. I'm going to bring my arm to the side of the chair. I'm going to turn around, getting just a gentle rotation of the spine, but really important that we're sitting nice and tall with this one. And release that. Let's switch sides. So for starters, we can cross at the ankle, open up through the hip. We could cross at the base of the knee, open up through the hip. Or if you've got the mobility to get that ankle above the knee, then you can bring it all the way up. Gentle pressure on the inside of the knee, or lean forward. Release that. Okay, let's take that bent leg over top. We're going to hug it with the opposite arm. I'm going to take that arm coming around to the armrest, and with a nice tall long spine, I'm going to gradually rotate, looking back behind me, getting a nice spinal rotation with that. All the way back. Good. Okay, I'm going to stand up for our last couple upper body stretches. No, you can stay seated if you prefer. I'm going to bring one arm across the chest, getting a nice stretch through my shoulder. And then once you're done that, get a nice deep breath. And then take that arm up and over, nice stretch through the tricep. We can gently press on the back of the arm. If you have good shoulder mobility, you could bring that arm up and over, but just be cautious that you're not pulling on that head or neck there. Good. You can bring that other arm across here, stretch out through the other shoulder. I'm going to drop that shoulder, keep that head and neck down. Take that same arm up and back. Great job today. Give yourself a pat on the back, either gentle press on the back of the elbow or bring that arm up and over. Good, and release that. Let's open up through the chest, stretch out through the front. Take a few nice deep breaths. Being that chest is always really tight, good to open up through the front of the body sometimes. Good, and release that. Let's take a few deep breaths, a little bit of a plie with that. Inhale all the way up, and exhale, We're gonna keep our head above our heart though as we do that. Inhale all the way up and exhale. One more time. Great job. Nice work. I hope you enjoyed my class today. If you have any comments or questions, we encourage you to put those in the chat. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you again another time. Thanks for joining me today. See you next time.